When it comes to hitting what you're shooting at with a firearm, it's all about the fundamentals. And one of the main fundamentals a lot of people struggle with is learning proper trigger control. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you a really easy way to determine if your trigger control needs a little polishing, and a really simple drill you can do that I learned at Gunsight that'll help you get your trigger under control. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for trustworthy information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. And as I said, today we're going to talk a little bit about trigger control. It's one of the things that a lot of people struggle with, but it's something that if you don't get under control, you're never going to be as good a marksman as you potentially could be. But first, I got to give a big thanks to the folks at Hog Holsters for sponsoring today's video. Hog Holsters is the concealed carry holster I've been carrying every day for several years. You can save 10% on your entire order at Hog Holsters, over $30 by using the coupon code Survival on Purpose, all one word, at hogholsters.com. So let's talk about trigger control. First of all, I said I was going to tell you a really simple way that you can determine if you're having a problem with trigger control. And generally, if you're firing at the range, you go to the range or whatever, and you're shooting your gun. I'm going to use a blue gun for this one, just to show you. And you're shooting bang, bang. You got the recoil going and everything. You don't really notice if you're having. It's hard to tell if you're having good trigger control or not. But here's a little trick you can do that makes it really simple to find out if that's an issue for you. Get some of these dummy rounds. This is a little plastic dummy round. It's got a plastic head on it, it's absolutely a dummy round. They make just solid plastic ones, they make metal ones, whatever. And just randomly load some of those in your magazine. Just put them in the middle somewhere where you don't know, maybe just put it in there somewhere, don't count. Then just do your normal drill, whatever you're doing. Here's what I want you to notice. When you're going bang, 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 and all of a sudden you get a click, do you do this? Do you go bang, bang, click? If you do that and you kind of jerk forward, that means you're kind of anticipating that shot, so you're probably not smooth on the trigger. So that's just a quick way to determine if maybe you need to work on that, because that means you're anticipating, you're flinching at it. And the goal is, so we got an empty gun here, right? Just so you can see, completely empty. The goal is that you want, just when you squeeze that trigger, you want it just to be slowly braking where you're not even expecting it to go bang, where the gun does not move from your trigger press. It should only move as it fires. So it's a really simple little drill that I learned at Gunsight that I thought I'd share with you. And all you need is an empty gun, okay? You need make sure that your gun is empty. Like, take the magazines out, take them in another room, take all the ammo out of the room you're in, unload it, rack it a few times, lock it open, test it both visually and feel in there, look and make sure there's nothing in there, okay? It's really, really important you do that, because you're going to be pressing the trigger on this thing. Not pulling, you're going to press it, you don't pull it. So here's what you do. You need that. You need a fired empty case. It's easier if you have a couple, but now this is really easier to do this drill with some help, but you can do it by yourself, and I'm just going to demonstrate it for you. So and I'm also going to show you a couple different guns to show you. There's a few style guns it's probably not going to work as well on, but on the Glock it's flat on top, and some of the sights on like these are the XS F8 sights, and they are flat on top. But before I show you these, let me just go ahead and show you I've got this Glock 26. It's also empty. It's got stock Glock sights on it. So the stock Glock sights have got a little flat spot on top, and there's room beside the slide. So what you're going to want to do is rack it so it's ready to fire. So when you press it, the trigger, it'll press, and then hold it out. Try to set the round, bounce it on top of the sights if you can. It's really hard on these little Glock sights, so you may not be able to do that. But if you can get it on there, then slowly press out to your normal firing grip, and then press the trigger. And the goal is, see, for the round not to move. That means you didn't jerk the trigger. And just do that a dozen times maybe until you just get tired of doing it. But until you can do it at least 5 times in a row without the round falling off. And it's really difficult on these little sights to get it bounced there, but you can do it. And then Sometimes it's going to fall off when you're pressing out to your firing grip, but just do that and then press the trigger. So we'll do it one time. I'll show you what it looks like when it doesn't work. So I kind of try to put it out kind of where I'm going and balance it on there, and it's really a pain in the butt. But so if you see what I mean? So get it out there, and then if you jerk the trigger, it falls off. Okay, so that's with stock Glock sights. I'll show you. This is my XS big sights, and these are really like express sights. They're patterned after express sights that they put on big game hunting rifles because they give you a quick picture. And if you're getting charged by a Cape Buffalo, you ain't got time to be fooling around with no sights. You want to put it on target and go bang. So again, this one is empty, but you see these sights are round on top, so it's not going to balance up there. So what I do with this one is I just set it on the side there, and same thing. See it move just a little bit, and might can make it a little more unstable. I don't know if that makes it more unstable or less, but turn it upside down. But either way, so you can do that. And just a couple more examples. So this is 1911, and depending upon what kind of sights you have on it, again, empty, 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 okay? So this one has a flat sight on top of it, but you notice the top of the slide is rounded. So it's going to be real hard to get it to sit there, I think. Let's see. Well, it'll sit there, okay. And then press. Okay, so, but if you can, the point is the more tenuous the balance, in other words, the harder it is to get it to stay there, the better test this is going to be and the better drill it's going to be, because this is going to teach you just to slowly, see, I failed. So we'll do it again. Try it again. Okay, it's barely sitting there. Ooh, it's rocking around. Ooh, man, that one's barely on there. So I'm going to squeeze, slowly press, and it stayed. So, let me give you one more example of a pistol I've not been able to do this very well with. This is a Browning high power. That's John Browning's last design. As you can see, it's empty, 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 okay? This is really round on top also, and the sight is kind of round on top, this particular sight. So I can sort of maybe get it to sit on top of the round, but it's going to be precariously balanced, which is good, because that's what you want. You want a precarious balance so you can really check and make sure you're not moving it at all. Like that. We'll try it one more time. So you can pretty much do this with most guns. You can figure out a way to do it. Okay, precariously balanced. Let's see. And it stayed that time. So anyway, that's it. Just want to share that with you. It really is a no-cost way. Just make sure that your guns are unloaded. Take all the ammo out of the room. I mean, as silly as you think that may sound, I cannot tell you I always hear about somebody shot their TV or shot a hole in their wall because they didn't do that. As silly as it sounds, take all the ammo out of the room, be in a different room. I know you think it's not going to happen to you, but why take a chance, right? So, but that's probably the number one way to improve your marksmanship is by improving your trigger press, because sight picture and sight and sight alignment are pretty simple, but that trigger press really takes some practice, and you've got to get out of the habit of flinching. You got to get out of that habit of anticipating that fire, and just go ahead and get used to just pressing that trigger. And something that they told me at gun sight, which is a really cool thing to do, like every time you go to the range, before you fire any rounds through your pistol, go ahead and do that little drill at the range about 5 times, and get it to where you can get that thing won't fall off 5 times in a row. Then start your live fire and see if your results don't improve and your marksmanship doesn't get better. So there you go. That's it for today. I really hope this has been helpful. I really appreciate you watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident, so be prepared. Get that trigger press right. I'll see you next time.